Okay.
All right.
All right. All right then.
All right. Welcome to Dungeon Banter. Here we are again. Special guest included. So this is great. So let's get started that way. Stell, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Stell, part of the Harbinger Studios team. Here to talk about some 13th Warrior, one of my favorite movies growing up, and really excited for tonight. Thank you guys for having me on. Love always chatting it up with you guys. We have a lot of fun, so I expect this night to be no different. How's everybody else doing?
Good.
Good.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Glad it's middle of
Mr.
the week.
Right.
Good.
Jay Hova, where are you from? Introduce yourself.
Where am I from? Well, I am from the wonderful state of Iowa.
I didn't have to go into your birth story or anything.
You said where I'm from. I mean, I'm chilling. I just got in my newest figure to my collection, the Legion's Con exclusive Eraser, and he came.
Are you
in
holding something up right now?
Yeah, exactly. It's a John Cena figure.
I have mine too, right there.
Oh yeah, you did get it. Okay, good.
But he finally came in the mail yesterday. Super excited. Big shout out to Ryan for picking that up for me. But I haven't been able to put him down. I even took him, with me on a little adventure and started part swapping with him. But I'm really excited to talk about this movie. It is in my top 10 fantasy films of all time. So
which is funny, and we're going to get into it. But as I started looking in and researching some stuff, much like Stell was talking about, there's some stuff in this movie.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah. And Fanboytone.
Well met. I am Fanboytone. I hail from the mitten of Michigan. It is cold. I'm not a fan of it, but I also hail from Banters and Babbles, the land of all kinds of content, whether it's pop culture, media, video games, or now conversational stuff and all kinds of toy stuff. So, hi, welcome back to see me.
And I am Drasten the Dungeon Master from 7D Dungeons. And tonight we're going to banter about some dungeons. So this is one of my topics.
Master. Don't forget.
And I'm Brew Guy. Tone has not allowed me he has denied me the title of Master.
Bruce Squire. He's a Bruce Squire.
Yeah. But we don't
say though, huge shout out and huge thank you for the beers that you provided at Titans Toy Expo. I will say that peanut butter and I think peanut butter and jelly. Yeah,
that was a big hit all the way around.
That and the peanut butter was actually really good. And we were buzzing real good. You made me question how savage I was in the Savage Crucible booth with the s'mores, because that one was like, ooh, it was hard.
That's a bite.
It really made me question how savage I was. I was like, damn.
Yeah. Well, it had an unintentional bite to it.
There's your cobbler right there, Drasten.
That's the blackberry cobbler. Yeah. Oh, look at that. He's just diving into it.
I love that cobbler.
I just got a lame old Stella here, so
I still got to start my Christmas brew. I haven't done anything yet, but I'm glad you guys liked it.
Yes.
So I love getting some feedback on that. But tonight we're gonna do 13th Warrior. So interesting enough, I hadn't seen the movie in quite some time, and I know there was some chatter about it last time we all got together about talking about this. So I did what I was supposed to do, and I picked up the movie. I actually bought it. It's $5 on Amazon. So, I watched it the other day, and I do like some through it. I had a lot of questions after I watched it because things. But I did want to bring up a little bit of thing. Overall, critics did not like this movie. 34% on Rotten Tomatoes. A lot of comments about it being aimless, no direction, no story. A lot of that, and even crowds did not really like this movie. People did not go to see it. It ended up the cost for making the movie got to around $160 million, but only grossed about 61 million. But
So
weird,
what was that?
weirdly, do what?
What was that? Your sound looks like it sounded you just popped a balloon.
That was
Okay,
There's
continue.
something going on with your sound.
really. That's weird. It's all working.
No, you look fine now. Go ahead.
No,
Yeah, you're fine now. Go
no,
ahead.
you're working
All
out.
right.
That was weird.
Anyway, the movie took off in about 2001 or something. Like it was like years later that it became like a box office hit. So that was pretty crazy and interesting. Of course, being a big fan of Michael Crichton. In fact, I think on Dungeon Banter, I said that was my favorite fantasy author.
Yes.
And I was like, I wonder where because this movie is, of course, based on Eaters of the Dead. And I wondered where that ranked in his novel. Doesn't even crack the top 10.
No.
So this one's pretty low on there. And the interesting thing is, like, looking at this list here, we have Jurassic Park, of course. Airframe, I don't think I've even heard of, as well as Disclosure. The rest of them I've heard of. So that's weird that those don't have movies made about them. But I found that extremely interesting there. But why don't we start out? When was the first time you guys watched this movie? Did anybody go to the theater to see it? You
I
went to
didn't. No theater for this. Did you go to
Yes.
theater?
Yes. I saw it in the theater. So my dad was avid about making me a reader as a kid, but one of the things that was great was if I read the book before the movie came out, he would take me to the movie as a present. So
Nice.
I literally went to the library and I picked up a copy, which I wish I would have stole from the library because it was an original 1978 printing of this book. It's only been reprinted 3 times. Eaters of the Dead has. It's only been reprinted 3 times. But original 1978 copy, and I read through it, and all of the characters were like so well developed, and I couldn't wait to see these guys on screen. And then when we got to the movie, you don't even get to hear half of the guys' names
Right.
or their nicknames.
Yep.
So that is my biggest critique of the film right off the rip, is that you don't really get to know the characters the same as you do in the book, because it's written from Ahmed telling the story
Right.
of Bulva and talking about the journey. Like, it's written like a first person historical recount of an adventure he went on.
So you're saying that as a young child, your parents set you up for disappointment. Read the book, then go watch the movie and be completely devastated by how it
That's
doesn't
true.
match the book.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yep.
Honestly, that's
went
a
the-
great preparation right there, because how many times do I can't even recall that there's like a movie that's done page by page from a book, like maybe Holes. I don't even know. Like, I don't know. Like,
Right.
Yeah, it's
so
like I went the other way. Like, I went and seen Jurassic Park, loved it so much. I'm like, I have to read the book, and then I was like, oh my god, what happened? So what about you? First time watching the movie?
So this movie came out, I was in Greece, so I didn't get to watch it in theaters. I believe, from what I recall, yeah. So I think I watched it in, like you said, like around like 2000 when I moved to the States. We had a little like local grocery store that had like a small section that had like video rentals.
Yeah.
And I remember renting it.
Yep.
Me and my buddies, we like love fantasy movies. I remember renting that, and I don't remember if it was then or if it was later when we rented the Brotherhood of the Wolf too. Was one that came out. I don't know. It might have been later, but that's the first time I got to watch it. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. So I personally have never read the book, so I don't know what the book is all about. I know that the reference to this movie, there's vague, very vague. But I've never read the book myself. I've just watched the movie, and I've always loved this movie. I thought it was great, not knowing anything behind the scene, like of what went on behind the scenes with this movie. So I guess kind of going into it blindly, I fell in love with it. But like Jay said, there's, after you watch it, you're like, okay, there's supposed to be 13 warriors, but like honestly, there's only like 7 of them that like get a good amount of screen time. And like a good amount of them get like murked, so you're like, okay, like
Yeah.
what's going on here, and part of that has to do, I think there was like 2 directors, right? So it was being directed by somebody else, right? It was a little more close, or 3. Okay, so
There were
3.
3.
I
Yeah.
think there was one that was really close to the original source material of the book, right? It was following that a little closer. Somebody else came in, changed stuff around, and then I guess, the third touch was added as well.
So there was the original director who filmed a bunch of scenes. He got angry, left the project. Michael Crichton came in and directed as his first time directing project.
That's
Realized directing was way more difficult than he anticipated.
Right.
Filmed a bunch of stuff. Like over a year later, after the first one was filmed, the studio moved him off of it and then moved the final director in afterwards, who pieced things together and then reshot more things.
Yep.
Which makes some of the cuts a little hard.
Yeah, very, very hard cuts. And that's John McTiernan or something like that.
I think so,
Tiernan or
something like
whatever. I
that.
think he gets actual credit for that. Who
So who
by
was
all
the
intents
third
and
guy?
purposes, had like a lot of good movies behind him. So
So real quick to interject, this film
guy.
was so hard for the actors to live with and pace through that the actor that played Hergar the Joyous, this was his last time doing an American produced film. He was done. He was like, I'll only do Norwegian and German cinema from now on. He was like, I'm done with Americans. Like,
Damn.
yeah. And he's my favorite character in the movie, and like I wanted to go see more things that this actor was in, and like you gotta literally find Norwegian films in order for that.
Yeah, like Antonio Banderas especially was like, they wanted everything to feel authentic, so they taught them all how to sword fight. Like they did it all. There were no stunt doubles. Everybody did their own stunts.
That you can see and feel in the film too, I feel like, honestly.
Yeah.
I feel like, but yeah, no, it's trying to think. First time I saw this, I didn't see it in the theater, but I remember when it released on like DVD or whatever it was, or it might have been both VHS and DVD at that time. And I remember watching it with a group of friends, and I think we're all kind of excited about it just because, like, when you're in your 20s and you're hanging out with buddies, drinking beer or smoking weed or whatever, watching a badass film, right, and getting ripped is certainly a good idea. So I remember seeing it with a group of friends, and I remember while watching this, the first thing I noticed was like how neat it was to see a lead character be somebody that's not what you would normally see as a lead character. So seeing like an Arabic character, that was something that to me right away, I was like, oh, that's fucking cool. And I love back then, of course, I'm reading Dritz Duerden. So he's pulling out a fucking scimitar and I'm like, fucking scimitar. Hell yeah. Right. So I'm freaked out about that for sure. But then, other than that, I think I remember the first time you saw the fire coming down the mountain and what it looked like. And they called it the serpent or whatever. And like, I wanted it to be more fantasy based, and I wanted it to be either a monster or literal monsters. And of course we find out later, it's not, but intensive, and for the purpose of story and kind of more grounded that it is, it's actually a really neat way how it comes about to who it really is.
Give an Arab a sword and he'll make a knife.
Yeah. And I give that to me daughter. That's actually one of the funniest things too that I critiqued all the times, right? So they're talking Norwegian, right? And then, Banderas like figures out the languages and that, and then the dude like develops like an Irish accent.
Well, it's because he is Irish. The actor is Irish.
No, the actor is Irish. I know, but it's
funny because like half the movie he's wearing his tartan and stuff like slung about him, and it's so funny because I'm like, okay,
man, that is the one thing that took me out of that movie, right? And it's such a silly thing, but who is the second man? Hoff. Hold on, let me look it up here. The second guy was
trying to remember.
Elgar, right? So he's got on a Spanish Conquista breastplate.
Does and they specifically pointed out, yeah,
right. And I'm just like, it took me out so much, man, because I'm like, dude, that armor wasn't even a freaking thought at the time, right? And I'm
Right.
like, dude, it's fantasy. Everybody, right? Everybody's kind of just sporting, some cool stuff. But then him, I just couldn't look past it. For some reason, it was just
So
killing
yeah.
me.
So see, that's one of the interesting things, because for Fanboytone there wasn't enough fantasy in it, and for you, Stell, there was too much fantasy in it. So I mean,
Yeah.
right there you
Yeah.
go.
I
Interesting.
guess,
how that
no,
kinda
see,
works.
I love the way that the story is told in 13th Warrior, because to me, it's such a great interpretation of kind of how stories were told back in the day, right? When the unknown was kind of happening and you're trying to piece it together, right? So, some guy like encounters, let's say, a Komodo dragon, right? And thinks that that's this great beast, right? So they describe it, and then this illustrator puts together this picture, right? And you kind of have that idea of it, right? Kind of how like,
Mhm.
Jurassic Park ruined T-Rexes, right? Because I can't look at a real T-Rex now and be like,
Yeah, right. That's right.
Right.
They got to have
you
the
know,
big old feet too, the big Crichton
yeah,
feet
dude,
or
like,
whatever.
but besides the point, I think it was
Yeah.
great because, it kind of shows you how like people
Mhm.
over exaggerate, right? And build up this great idea of something. And then
Mhm.
goes to show you how like, it's not something that intense, right? It's something human created or
Right.
whatnot. So,
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, and interestingly enough, that scene where he learns the language, I found out later with watching some stuff and researching stuff that other films have like studied that as the blueprint for those kind of situations.
God, I love
Um,
that.
so in the past, it was like a hard cut to English so that everyone understood it, or they did
mhm.
subtitles. But having him sit there, and being able to cross a span of time, people are like, "Oh man, that was a really good idea," and
Mhm.
emulated it then in future films.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
No,
Mhm.
that was great storytelling right there, because
Mhm.
even when he first speaks their language, it's not like he's like, "Da, da, da, da," he goes into it, he's like piecing it together, right? He's
Mhm.
like putting the words slowly together, and then you see the progression into
Mhm.
them just fully having dialogue, right?
And
So,
that first sentence, how he stutters through it, where he's like,
yes.
"You son," or "You
Mhm.
pig eating
Yes.
son of a war," and he
So
Yeah.
stumbles through the
it's
words.
great, yeah.
So great.
Mhm.
Really nicely done, really nicely done on that
That's
one.
definitely one of my favorite scenes growing up from a movie, and I think we talked about that too in the past about that. Like that scene for me was just it was always a memorable scene because, again, you're talking about a movie like this where normally in these type of movies you're seeing, it's like everybody's getting drunk, saying three or four words, and you've got this really smart character who's able to work through this and stuff like that, and that's it's not stuff you see too often. So that always stuck out to me as just a huge neat scene in a film.
Mhm. Yeah. I really like, yeah, and that whole journey, right? So it kind of shows you too how lengthy that journey was, right? Because in your mind they're like you get to see a couple of nights, but then if you think about it, that's a lot of days and nights kind of put together, and then you
Hmm.
add that ship trip, right? So they're at sea for a good amount of time as well, until they reach to where they're going. So,
Right. Which they don't really convey very well in the film either. I know Drasten, I
mhm.
think you brought that up recently. In
Yeah.
watching it again for the first time in a while, I'm like, yeah, if you're not paying attention,
Yeah.
you can tell it's different fires that they're sitting
Mhm.
around. But it's really tough. Like if you're
Yes.
somebody who
Yeah.
half pays attention, you're gonna be like, oh wow, he was just hanging out one night and figured out that's stupid. So
Well, another thing too is, right, they start the movie with him on the ship, and they don't really kind of bring you into the moment where it's like in the present, right? It kind of starts
mhm.
out with him in the ship, and then there's more footage of him on the ship, so you're kind of like, oh, okay, I guess now we're picking up from where the movie kind of started,
Yeah,
or
that's true.
that small little scene, because it's not a lot, that we get in
Mhm.
the beginning, but um,
Yeah. Um, the other thing that they talked about, as well as the actors and all the extras that they had to pay, which cost them astronomical sums of money, which was also studied afterwards for future films about the cost of films, um, was just that all those effects, like when they're fighting in the smoke, they were like were literally fighting in the smoke. So like people were getting hurt, injured, stabbed. They were saying the
mhm.
swords were actually metal swords. So they were actually like hitting each other with metal swords, and people were really getting hurt, and like their eyes were burning from the smoke and all that. So
Awesome.
like that's why those fights seem so visceral and real, compared to other things we see is because it really was. I mean, and it makes me think of, like, I was a big fan of Braveheart growing up, and if you watch in the background of Braveheart, which is my favorite thing to do, and you see these actors swinging swords, the no names background extras, they're like, 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 it's so low effort and funny to watch that you didn't notice the first time you watch it. You don't get that in this film. Like, they are really going in at it like it's an actual fight. So I found that really interesting.
I just kind of wish that some of the fights didn't like, and I think that's just kind of from the time now, because like I feel like choreography is a little bit different now.
Yeah.
When you cut away so much, you chunk it up. It makes the fights. It like kind of lessens the impact of that fight because it's like you're blurry, moving around. You're going here, you're cutting here. It's like I agree with that because again, a lot of things look great in this movie. Like as a period piece, a lot of things look really nice. But when it gets to the fighting scenes, while I agree with what you said, I think that was another thing that I noticed to just kind of critique is that a lot of the fights just seemed like it was a lot of splicing, and that drives me nuts in general. So, like, I don't know.
Dude, too many cuts and close-ups kill fighting scenes for me.
Yeah, man. Like, have you ever watched
that's
Iron
what killed,
Fist?
Requiem, AVP Requiem, like the fight. I mean, there was a lot of things that killed it, but a part of it was, the fact that, dude, hands down, Wolf Predator is the best, one of the best Predators.
Now, Stell, you are amazing because one of the funniest things about this is one of the 13 warriors played the Pred alien in Alien versus Predator Requiem. Like, that's insane. Like,
I was about to
that's fucking random as fuck, you nerds.
No, like the really, really tall guy, he's known as the Dower, and like his biggest claim to fame outside of the 13th Warrior is literally that he played the Predator. Like, what were the chances?
Random nerds. That's funny. That's funny.
No, but and that's going back to what we were saying about the fighting scenes. I don't know if you guys ever watched the Daredevil series when it was on Netflix.
Yeah,
I believe it's like episode 3. There's that, and then there's also in the second season there's an episode. There's these fighting scenes, right, where it like starts and it doesn't end, right? The camera's moving the whole time, and that to me is like awesome, dude. Yeah, yes. Like chef's kiss, 100%, because it's a whole fighting scene. The dude's getting murked at the same time. It's not like he's just unleashing, devastation on his enemies. He's getting murked too. And I don't know. It's just that to me is like perfect cinematography.
Sets the bar. Sets the bar, man.
It does.
On the flip side, if you've ever seen the awful Iron Fist series, and you got it, first of all, they hired a guy that doesn't know martial arts. Second of all, you've got supposed to be the greatest martial arts in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and you're doing like 75 cuts in a scene. It's not believable. Like that,
dude, they did my boy Danny so bad.
It was so bad. So bad. So bad.
I actually wrote that out of existence. I literally bludgeoned my head somewhere. So
it doesn't even exist to
you. No, I love Iron Fist. Especially like Brubaker's run on Iron Fist was like amazing. So I'm a big, I love all those like B-list characters, know. So
feel it.
I mean, even Moon Knight. A lot of people like Moon Knight. It was a good show. That wasn't Moon Knight for me though. Like Disney's Moon Knight wasn't, I needed more psychological, like the dude questioning himself.
We were going to get there deep, too. I wish there's more.
Yeah, they really skimped on the budget so that they could make Acolyte. Anyways,
13th Warrior. Sorry, venturing away here.
Yeah, all the time. We're good.
Yeah. So all in all, the movie was a bit of a mess in general, which is unfortunate because I think there really is a good story there. And it's been something that, like I said, people have watched for that. But one of the interesting things, if you're a fan and you pay attention to Michael Crichton's work, is he actually he does research these topics before he writes these books, and a lot of this stuff, movie people were surprised at how historically accurate some of the things in this movie are. So the scene with the the maiden that was sent off with the guy to die, and that was set on fire. That was all from the real Ahmed's like books and scrolls of those events, as because that's what he really did. And I found that really interesting. I didn't realize it was so ingrained into it.
Yeah, I didn't know that. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, and like I said, like I thought I had also read somewhere too about this, that this was also like Michael Crichton wrote this to be kind of like loosely based off history. But did I read that right? Or were we talking about something about Beowulf as well?
Yep.
Yes. Yeah, it definitely has like themes of Beowulf in it.
Yeah, it's supposed
You can
to take
definitely pick him up in the movie.
Yeah. Because the fella that dies at the end that's sitting there, is that the actor that said I'm never working in America ever again?
No.
Okay.
That yeah.
No, Herger was that shorter guy with the beard. He's basically the guy that's like translating in the beginning when they
calls
first
him little brother the whole time.
Yep. Kind of like the other main character.
He's the one that said, "I'll never work in American cinematography again."
He was the best. I mean, he was my favorite out of them.
He was
he was a favorite for a lot of people.
Yeah, he's a great. He was acting the hell out of that role for sure.
He was good.
Yeah, go ahead.
But like Bolvine's like my favorite. Like that guy like channeled that Norse god energy. Like he didn't talk a whole lot, but when he did, everyone stopped and listened. And like he was a leader without calling himself a leader. Definitely my favorite character.
I think one of the funniest scenes when he's like, "Speak what I write," and he writes it, and then Banderas like corrects him, and he just turns around and walks away, dude. It's like one of the best scenes. Like, fuck you.
Well, see, that's the thing is, with their nicknames, with all of their nicknames, it's his relationship to them, and so like in the book, it gets really really specific into it. In the movie, it's kind of a miss, because how do you make 12 connections, especially when you got to kill off 2 people every 15 minutes? But for Bolvi, like the big thing with him was he names him leader in Arabic, but the big thing for him where the two of them connect is their love of knowledge and their love of learning. And so for that moment in the book is so profound, because it then leads to Bulva being able to like write down every single one of the men as they die's names inside of the leather part of his armor. That's in the book. That's not in the movie. And it's so profound, because like literally has Ahmed like teaching him how to write these guys' names, because he's going to carry all 13 warriors with him on this journey. And it's
that would have been a very cool feature to add in the movie.
That would have been awesome.
Right. But how do you put that into a movie that is only going to be an hour and 26 minutes long?
Exactly.
Fire the third director and get a fourth in there. What do you think?
Yeah, right. Let's go. Come on.
I know. When I saw the runtime, an hour and 44 minutes, I'm like, is this even a movie, or is this like a TV show? I don't.
Yeah. It's the first episode of Stranger Things, you know.
Right.
Right. I mean, do we think that this? And I don't want to jump too far ahead, but do we think that a movie like this would have value? And I hate saying this because I usually hate this, but like getting a remake, not a remake, but just like redoing it, like doing a new version of it.
It's funny you brought that up, because that was one thing I was actually going to ask. It was like, I think the value would be to do this book as like a series on maybe HBO or something, where you can tell a slower story and you can feel for the characters. You get to know all the characters, even if they have to embellish out of the book a little bit so that there's more personalities. Right. That way, when they do die, you're like, oh God, it's that Game of Thrones feeling of man, like that's where I think I would be for that.
Yeah. I'm in that team, but I was going to say the same thing. I would say like even one of those, like, I don't know if you get like those kind of extended movies where it's like, you know, you kind of like 2 parts or something like that.
Yeah, like a mini series maybe or something.
Like a mini series, something that you know is not going to like drag on. You know,
from
like,
the 1990s.
Here's the thing.
Here's
the thing that I hate with series going on nowadays is like they add a lot of filler into it. So like, you know, they got to drag something out for 12 episodes, right? And if the 12 episodes need to be an hour, there's got to be at least like 20 minutes of filler, right, in each episode. So like to me, like it just kills it, especially now that I have, you know, like kids and everything else going on. Like sometimes, you know, I kind of want to get to the point a little faster, kind of like the latest season of House of Dragon with Damien being in that tower for 10 years. I was like, that's all I'm gonna say. Nothing else.
It's been like a year, Jay Hova. Go watch it.
The second season's been out for a year.
It's
No
Dude.
way. No way.
I literally and I haven't watched it, but The Witcher season 4 came out, and there's literally like teasers on YouTube. I'll like log on and like I'm like watching a scene. I'm like, oh, this is great. Thanks for the warning. Yeah,
Dude,
like I feel like nothing. If you don't watch something like a day or two after it comes out nowadays, you know,
you're getting it ruined.
Don't get me started. Don't get me started on our culture of having to review it 10 minutes after the thing comes out. You know, like
it took us 25 years to get here.
Well, and not only that, dude, everybody kind of has built like, you know, that the modern generations built like that 30-second attention span now where they rather watch somebody put a 30-second clip up of something than like go and watch the whole thing. Right. So,
yeah, it's true.
Yeah. We're in the headline reading generation. So that's what it's all about.
Yeah. Yay.
So Jay Hova, like film series or no remake at all?
So 1990s Stephen King The Stand. Give me 4 episodes, an hour a piece long. The first one is him meeting them and the journey to the kingdom. The second episode is all the investigation. The third episode is figuring out how to beat them in the cave. And then the fourth episode is the retaliation and final battle and the funeral pyre, because like if you watch the movie, like they don't really do a very good job of it either, but they say when Bulva's father dies, this is the old way, you will not see this again. And that's because it's supposed to be set in the 10th century of our world. And so by that time, the Vikings had already agreed to take money from the Christian church, the Catholic church, to be Christians. And so like that's why they say this is the old way, you won't see this again. And Bulva actually gets the same Viking funeral as his dad, which is promised to him by the king right before he dies, but he actually gets it. So it's like it's not the last. And that's why the prayer at the end is so important and everything, is because it's these guys that have given up their religion for money, but they haven't given up their spirituality for the money. And so like I think that like that would be such an important part in the book.
Damn, you guys keep talking about this book and all this stuff, and I just because like watching the movie, like honestly, that's one of the things too. Is like you know we talk about it's this is good, but it's so you can tell by just watching the movie. And I know I made the joke about the length. You can tell that it's missing a lot of like substance. You can just like as an adult now, going back and rewatching it for the first time in a long time, just seeing that there's just like this missing void of something.
But that's Michael Crichton's books always being turned into movies, though. It's always
they do that every time because Jurassic Park starts in the middle of the book.
Amy.
Right,
Congo? Anybody? No, okay, never mind.
Yeah, I'm a big
Congo.
Tony
movie are two different things, like in its entirety. But yeah, and I don't and maybe that's what he figured out when he tried being the director of this film, is like, why is it so hard to translate what I wrote?
Right? Why make big words?
Like, and
now I get it.
He's like, yeah, he totally does too.
Like having not been in those shoes, if someone was filming like one of our campaigns or something, like it seems like it'd be really easy. Like I know my world, I know what happened here, I know all this stuff, but maybe it's a lot more difficult than what it seems that we make it out to be.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to put it down on paper. I think it's easy to really put it down on paper and flow with that, and then having to actually portray it. It's a whole different, I feel, artistic style. If you don't delve in both of those artistic styles to begin with,
And so see, I think that having read the book before going and seeing the movie, I got a lot more connected to the characters, because like the really cool Ranger-esque guy that like hides out in the tree and he smells the perfume coming from a mile away, and he can see the smoke before anybody else, like
Legolas.
Yep.
I'm just messing with you.
Can you boot him, please, Drasten?
Yeah, that's not a
Kick him
problem.
I
out.
have this conversation between three reasonable adults. But anyways, like in the book, there's this whole like part of the 6-month journey to get there where him and Ahmed connect. And you don't get that in this movie. Like literally he throws him a bundle of food and he says thank you, and that's it. That's their interaction together.
Damn.
Yeah. And so I think having read the book first before seeing the movie, I was instantly locked on because I was like, oh, I know who that character is. And I know what this relationship is. And I really, when you look at the movie, he only builds a reputation with the musician, the joyful, and the leader. Those are the only three
Yep.
that he connects with.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because you don't have time to build those relationships and then kill him. It's like when Clive Russell's character dies in the cave and he's like, it was a good day. Now run
One of the
along,
best
lad, and
lines,
I'll hold it down.
Yeah.
Like it's such a good line and it's so emotional. But when you find out that Clive Russell's character, the Fat, is the only reason why he made it through the entire trip on the ship was because he traded him his fermenting fish rations for his bread rations because he couldn't hold down the fermented fish because he was getting seasick because he'd never traveled on the ocean. Like that's not in the movie. You get 30 seconds of them interacting on the ship and
Yep.
and so the reason why he calls him the Fat is because he'll eat anything. But you don't get that in the movie. You get it in the book, but having read it in the book and then seeing that interaction, I'm like, oh, there it is. There's my moment, you know. But
It needs a short series so that it can explore these characters in better depth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sorry for rambling on, guys. I apologize.
No.
It's,
I'm
it's
really,
hype
really
because
passionate
now it
about
makes me want to go and read the book.
Yeah, if anything, yeah.
That was last Dungeon Banter, reading books and stuff. So
yeah, Drass is good. Drass is good for that for a while.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm good.
Reading book.
I don't read. So how do we feel? How inspired do you think that final scene is in the movie when Bolvar like sits down in the chair? That was like the most Conan moment. Like,
dude.
I like to think it was Conan.
I think I think it really is the moment from when he like he just full out swings that dude off the horse.
Yeah,
that to me is like fuck yes, dude. Like so epic. You know, and then of course, yeah, that scene, it's like, dude, I'm going out like a fucking badass, and he just fucking slams the sword down, just sits his ass down, right? He's like, my job is done, right? It's just like, you know, such a great scene, no words being uttered, you know, like,
and he's getting beat, and like they're clubbing the shit out of him, like,
right.
I want to ask you guys a question since you have not read the book and you only know the movie. What is the relationship between the woman that hangs out with the 13 warriors and the king? Do you guys know what that relationship is?
Not the one lady with the white dress, right?
Yes, that like takes them to meet the old lady, and she takes them to the cabin to where the farmers are. Do you know what their relationship is? Does it feel father-daughter to you guys at all? Does it feel like a father-daughter? No. What's it feel like?
Yeah, I couldn't.
She's just like a priestess in the village or something like that.
No, that's the queen. That's his wife. And so
that's
the king's wife. And so the thing is in the book, the reason why there's so much tension between the prince and Bolva is because when Bolva shows up, he's like, I will do this thing for you. And in the spirit of the Viking trade, the king says, very well, then you can have my young bride when I die. And that's why there's that weird tension between Bolva and her, is because like she knows that she's going to belong to him when her crazy ass old husband, the king, dies. And the prince sees that as an affront because like, no, you're not going to give away like this woman like that belongs to us and holds any sort of claim over the kingdom.
But the prince was very much like a non-character. Like,
well, I know, but in the book, such an important character because he's literally like underplaying their defenses the whole time and like in the king's ear trying to get him to not listen to the 13 warriors. Like it's such a dynamic grouping, and that's why Angus has to get killed in the movie and also in the book. It's to solidify like, no, we are here because you couldn't protect your own kingdom.
Yep. Dude, which my favorite scene is with Herger when he taunts that guy and gets him to fight him.
Yep,
And they
taunts
do the
Angus.
whole with the
Yep.
shields. That's my favorite scene in the movie, right? Because I mean, I'm kind of thinking about it. It's leading you on, and you're kind of like, okay, like what's going on? Why did he flat out challenge this guy? And he's just getting his ass beat, right? And then
Mhm.
it gets to that last scene where it totally flips the tables, and then he explains what happens, and you're just like, it like clicks for you too, right? And you're like, damn, that was
That's pretty
again
badass,
well
yeah.
thought out.
It is a good moment to have you viewing it through Ahmed's eyes and see it how Ahmed is seeing
Yes,
it. That's a
exactly.
really good
Yeah.
point. Yeah.
Mhm. And you can tell that he really cares, if he's gonna get hurt or die or all that stuff too. So
Yeah, and how the facade, like Jay just said, how the facade worked even on him, right? Because all the other guys were kind of like, okay, we kind of know what's going on, but that it's just that was I love that scene so much.
it's a great moment.
One of the things I also didn't realize was such a big deal. I mean, because it's just something I never thought about when I originally watched the movie, was the fact that the main character was Muslim as well. And through the whole film, like he never loses that about himself. Like he's dealing with this whole new culture. And one of the things I watched, they brought it up is really interesting. And the person said, if you think about this, in that time, late 90s, a lot of those people were the villains, the bad guys, so this was one of the first movies that came out where like he's a hero, and he didn't have to trade anything about himself to be that in that role. And I thought that was great about the film.
And one of the things that I love about the film is the fact that his belief system is in small ways always being challenged by interacting with this new culture. Like, for example, like the fact that Olga like is his equal. Like he's not from a culture where women are viewed as equal to men, but he's in this culture where women are. And so like she's sitting there putting the cow urine paste on his face and squeezing the pus out, and he's like, and she's like, those are woman sounds you're making. And then like they finish that battle, and Herger walks up to him and tries to hand him the drinking horn.
I
And
love
he's
that
like,
part.
I can't drink
That's so good.
fermentation of the grape or the wheat. And Hergar just starts laughing because he is the joyful, and he hands it to him. And he's like, it's made out of honey. Like, congratulations. I found something that you can get drunk on that does not break your vows, like does not interfere with your faith. And so it's
a great moment.
Great. Yeah. It's such a great moment because it allowed me to even challenge what I believed in my religion and in the culture that I grew up with. Because once you travel overseas, I mean, Stell knows this, I know firsthand, but like when you start traveling to other cultures, like it's a very American way to like make sure that your culture is preserved when you go somewhere else. It's a very worldly view to go and say, okay, I am going to accept this culture and I am going to adapt to this culture without losing my core values.
Nice. I'm assuming that was honey mead, right?
Yes,
it was.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly. Yeah.
Which
that's
is
what
delicious.
that's exactly what I was thinking. Like, I want some honey mead now. Yeah, sounds great.
I thought about making some. Just
figure it out.
I have the containers to do it. Yeah.
Just don't fuck it up.
Just
here we go.
No pressure.
Yeah, no pressure.
I always operate under pressure when I'm brewing.
Oh Jesus! Wow!
But
funny joke. Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Wow, look at that! We just lost 10 viewers off that joke.
Yeah, right. Wow. So do we think? What do you think the chances are that this ever does get remade into something different? Due to its like historical loss of money.
I'd assume probably not. I mean, it's got to have like probably the kind of following or the need, want, or care. Like, I mean, we've seen some things come up that we didn't expect, I guess, but I just don't know. Like, I do think that like it is surprising it has not been because of, honestly, Lord of the Rings really kind of like putting fantasy into the forefront of entertainment and media, and really kind of ushering that in the modern age, 20 years ago, 25 years ago now. And I think we're getting more. I mean, we clearly in the action figure world, we're seeing that more as well too. But Dungeons and Dragons is the most popular it's ever been and continues to get more popular, I believe, as well. You know what I mean? So do they go back and look at things like this and say, hey, maybe we have the ability to tap into something that didn't do well that might do well now at this point too? So
And how
I would
long
love
did it
for
take?
it.
How long did it take to go from the first Dungeons and Dragons, Marlon Wayne's movie
Very true.
to
Oh boy.
Honor Among Thieves?
Which and
And
we're not going to get any more either,
right,
unfortunately.
well, right, but that's because Hollywood's stupid and they don't understand what made that movie great versus what they could, because they could have slashed the budget on that. But anyways, and then look at Masters of the Universe. We've got a new Masters of the Universe live action movie coming out in 2026.
Mhm.
The last one was in 1987. So I have to disagree with you, Fanboytone. I think a 13th Warrior, we're still probably 5 to 10 years away, but Hollywood loves to recycle old shit.
That's true.
And they-
Yeah, you're
and
right.
And they would, I would love to see. I'm gonna go ahead and fan cast this now. Put Peter Jackson in as the director. He could do it. But, you know,
That'd be
you're
sweet.
confident.
That would be sweet. No, that would be
Right.
sweet.
I mean, I was thinking like Yui Ball, but you know, like
Oh my god.
they fire him and then bring in Michael Bay as the second.
Oh,
we gotta have Michael Bay, man. We need a lot more explosions.
More explosions.
Right.
Yeah, you have,
It's not smoky enough.
maybe
Sir,
it'll be
they,
brought
don't,
to you by
they don't have gunpowder yet in the 10th century? No. Explosion. Figure out a way.
Right.
maybe James
It's
Cameron.
witchcraft.
You know?
It is. It's witchcraft. It's witchcraft.
But that's one of the things that I like about the movie and the book is that none of it's witchcraft. Like, none of it is outside of the realm of possibility, other than some of the choices like you were talking about earlier, Stell, with like the armor and clothing choices, which it's funny because I understood what Michael Crichton was trying to do with that because he had a lot of say in the set designs. He wanted to try to make sure that we understood that all of these Vikings were world travelers and they all picked up the things that they that adapted most of them. That's why you have a gladiator helmet on one of the guys. You know what I mean?
It's funny you mentioned that, Jay, because that to me, you know, because everybody was saying, oh, well, you can't narc on that guy for, you know, having that armor. And then this other guy has a gladiator helmet. But to me, the gladiator helmet makes sense because being world travelers and going and pillaging places.
Right.
What is to say that this guy didn't come across this helmet as like, that's a fucking badass helmet.
Right.
I'm going to support this, you know, going forward, you know, like, so to me, that is a little more believable, you could say. Again,
the Spanish conquistador armor that hasn't been invented for another 400 years.
Exactly. The other one to me was just kind of like, you're taking me out. Again, nothing that I, you know, killed me, but, you know, just always like griped about it. I was like, why does he have this armor on?
That's a pretty good eye to catch that, though.
Yeah.
Now, and this might have been different in the book because, like, I was a kid when I read the book, so it's been a very long time. It felt like when Bolvar was fighting the mother, like I felt like that fight should have been over pretty quick.
I mean, I noticed the exact same thing on that.
And it just felt like he was very lumbering and like, you know, like.
Again, you know, and it's funny because that was actually a scene that was, I know that was a redone scene because originally, I think in the book, it's supposed to be like this elderly lady. And they had done the scene where they show this elderly lady like basically getting killed. And I guess it was too, you know, graphic, even though that, you know, she was, you know, like, dude, you're going to take out this lady if she's the, you know, the leader of these, you know, of this crazy tribe, right? But I guess it was too visually graphic for people to see some old lady getting decapitated.
So instead cast a hot 20-year-old and put her in a leather bikini. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and then if you kill some younger chick, it's fine.
It's totally completely fine. Yeah.
Especially if she's wearing a bikini, because then she deserves it for being loose moraled.
Is that what
and
she was
again,
wearing?
like I'm with you, Drasten, on that. Like, and a good thing that he kind of redeems himself at the end by like being a badass, because that scene, I try to look at it as he's maybe because it's unknown to him. Maybe he's being a little more cautious, a little overly cautious. And that's what kind of leads him to getting, because as soon as he gets slashed, right, he's like, oh, shoot, and just like lops her, right? So he's like,
Yeah.
but
Well,
it kind of sucks that has to happen for him to,
and to me, and maybe this is my viewing him as that Norse god mentality, but he like walks in there and he sees two of his friends' heads like hanging there. Like
Mhm.
there should have been that barbarian rage of
Yeah,
just Slaughterfest all the way back. But instead it was like really cautious and just like, oh, let's go and take care of it. And then she's just like he had to see her dip the hook
Yeah, she's
into
like,
the poison. Like she didn't like turn around or
he did it
anything. She
slow
was
enough. She's like,
Yeah, and it was an Easter egg because it was a raptor claw from Jurassic Park.
It was, yeah.
we know who added that
I hate you, Fanboy.
Right.
We know what director shot that scene. Got it.
Right. That was the second one for sure.
Ian Malcolm was probably laying in the back. So yeah, and this is what
and a
happened.
funny thing,
This
right? They find that little pendant, right? That's supposed to be her, and it looks like nothing like her, right? It's like this little like
there's like big statues of this like symbol, right? And they all have it. Like so there's definitely like a carving guild somewhere deeper into the mountain that's just whittling these things out. Like.
The little totem was stacked too.
Yeah,
that
dude,
was I was like, God dang.
Yeah.
Dylan was thinking about Friday night when he saw that little totem for the first time. He was like, oh, yeah.
Right. Hey, I'm gonna rent this another day. Hope you don't mind.
I love how offended they got with that little totem, right? That one dude's like spits on it. That one dude like goes in a rage. I don't even know what he says, right? He just like, dude, that little pendant. I was like, God damn, they really stuck a chord.
Well, and that's the thing is when Rooney and I were watching the movie together for the first time because I introduced her to it. Like I was like, isn't it funny how like Ahmed, because he's that religion means nothing to him, either side of it. Like the Viking religions mean nothing to him. So while everybody else is spitting on that totem and throwing it away, he picks it up like a Scooby-Doo clue.
Yeah, right.
And tucks it in his pocket for later.
Right. Yeah, for later.
The Crown woman. And so
like,
I'm like,
this out. Everybody freaks out again. He's like,
because he's that, and she kind of pointed this out to me, because he's that fresh set of eyes. He's the reason why they figure out that like they're in caves because they want people to think they're bears and they think they're bears.
Yeah.
And she's like, that's why he had to be the 13th warrior when the Oracle cast the bones, is because all of these guys have traveled and fought together so much that they've developed a hive mind. And so they were trying to attack this problem one way, and he was their outside resource. And so like, it was really interesting because I had already picked up like, whereas they were spitting on this because it's a disgusting god and it's a disgusting practice. He's just like, oh, well, this is a clue, and takes it with him. Like,
I always thought you were supposed to spit on it, but whatever.
Yeah.
Did any of you ever
Resident
wonder?
Evil that shit? He's like, I know I'm gonna need this later on as I progress. Put this next to my green herb.
Right. That's funny.
Did any of you ever wonder like where they keep their horses, since they're basically like rope bridges over to the cave system?
Yes. Oh my god. Like Rooney and I
land, and then there's horses.
Like,
there's like,
where the fuck is this horse pen in this fucking cave? Like, how are none of these horses neighing? You know what I mean?
That's funny. I guess I didn't even think about that.
Dude, it's that is so true. You're right.
They live in a cave right next to cliffs that lead to the ocean. Where the fuck are these horses being kept? And where are they growing the food?
That's a lot of fucking horses.
That dude, truly, yeah.
It must be at the top of the mountain.
Like, fuck, dude, that's like cavalry. Like, if you think about that cavalry, like they should have decimated like all those villagers. Like, if they were organized, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, dude, they're coming down with all those torches. Everything I saw those villagers had was flammable. Okay, so like,
right, but they're tossing water on the stuff before they get there. Like that is one of the good things they show, is that they're dousing the gates and the poles.
No, they do a good job of showing the preparation of like a siege or something. You know, like I think that's a great job. And then also how the villagers are kind of involved. Like, you know, you get to see them get involved, but they're not like super efficient. You know, they're good enough, you know, for what's going on, but like, you know, they're still kind of getting killed off and this and that. So,
so I have to kind of blame this movie and Olga's portrayal in particular for my taste in women. The reason why I love a partner that will challenge me is because of Olga. You know what I mean? Like, she is just such a badass in this movie.
She don't get enough light either. Like, she really is.
No.
Well, that's just it. Is they show her at the end, like walking up next to him and holding his hand when Volga dies, like, and she's got like all these battle scars and she's bleeding too, and I'm just like,
Where was she? Okay, we have to talk about Haltaf.
okay,
'Cause that
absolutely.
motherfucker, I don't see him like you see him like I think maybe a total of 5 minutes in that whole movie,
Yeah.
and that motherfucker makes it all the way to the end.
Yep.
Yeah.
All the way to
yep.
the end. I was like, dude, okay, so maybe we don't see him because somewhere he gets killed off screen and like I just never really paid attention. No, I like Googled this shit. And I'm like, what happens to this guy? He's like, no, he's at the end. He's at the funeral pyre. Like,
That's so
What?
fucking random.
Yeah.
You never see him again. It's got to be because of all the reshoots, right? He was probably in other scenes and things, right? I'd imagine.
again, and again, it kind of goes into what what we've been saying. It's like how can you fully show 13 and and build character on 13 characters
Yeah.
in an hour and 40 minutes, right? Like
It makes you wonder if there's a director's cut somewhere.
they do say that there is a different cut, even though it's
Really?
never been released. But
Yes,
Fuck.
there is a cut that is like 2 hours and 46 minutes long,
Please.
and
Petition
And-
that to get that out. Shit.
well, that's the thing.
where's it sitting,
is
dude?
that like that was actually Michael Crichton's cut, like, of the movie, his rough cut, and he showed it to the studio, and they were like, no, you need to cut an hour out of this, and he was like, no, it won't make any sense. And so they fired his ass, and he walked off angry and said that he would never be involved in another project where he didn't have more creative control. And they went back and reshot shit. And I mean, like,
Man.
there's scenes of it out there. There's like particular scenes, but I don't think anybody's ever seen the Crichton cut on this film.
So like, I mean, thinking back to 1999, which was quite a bit ago. I mean, how many 2-hour plus movies did you have?
At least 4 Star Wars films.
Titanic.
Titanic.
Star
Yep.
Wars. No, the originals weren't 2 hours.
What?
No, I don't think it was.
No. Sometimes they feel like 2 hours. No.
I want to say it was like probably like an hour and a half mark, I think.
Yeah.
No, I mean that was like the sweet spot for a lot of movies back then. It was like, like if you get it like an hour and a half, like an hour 40 minutes was where a good amount of those movies were. Because I'm thinking back to Blade.
Oh, so Star Wars was 2 hours and 1 minute. So
Yeah,
like
New Hope was.
The original ones, or
Yep,
are you
the
talking about
original one. But
what
that,
about
like,
Phantom Menace?
that's 5 minutes of credits as well.
Holy shit. So apparently there is a different cut out there too on Blu-ray, but I don't know what it really adds. I'm trying to look at this up right now. And one thing that I've found is that it's out of print. It goes up for $100 to $200. I'm seeing in some places right now.
Oh, great.
wow.
So it's in the same category as Dogma. Awesome. Thanks.
Well, Dogma releases in December now.
I know, but like, I'm saying, like, how many
Oh,
times-
I see. I see what
Yeah.
you're saying. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
So Phantom Menace, it was 2 hours and 11 minutes, but you're also talking about a very popular IP in comparison to,
Exactly. Yeah.
you know, kind of a
Right.
There weren't a lot of
I get
2 hour
that, but
movies.
I am saying, like, and that's the problem is when you look at this movie, none of the 3 of you have said that you absolutely hated this movie.
What?
Right.
No.
no.
None of you have given this movie any shit. You've given it all fair criticism, right?
Mhm.
And I hate to say it's because the 3 of you on a very deep level are all 3 intellectual and independent thinkers. This movie was not made for the same people that enjoy Conan the Barbarian because Arnold smash. You know what I mean? This was made
Right.
for the people that wanted to see a relationship between Conan and Valeria develop. They wanted to see him avenge his father. Like, they wanted the story. The 13th Warrior is not built for people that want hack and slash. It's built for for people that want the story and the journey.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's more, I think Conan is, especially that movie, because it's different in the comics, but in that movie, Conan's led by, wanting to get revenge, right? So that
Right.
is his whole premise in that, that's his goal, right? To get revenge. The 13th Warrior is a quest.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, I think, what, really amplifies it for me. It's something that, I love Greek mythology, right? And Greek mythology is all about just setting out into the unknown, about, going on to some quest to retrieve something. So this, I really love this because it had that aspect to it of, there's these guys random, right? So it's like, we need 13 warriors. So it's not like these guys like were actually like picked. They volunteered to go to this quest, and you get to see that unfold. And not only is that quest happening, you get Banderas, who is narrating the thing for us, right? So like you were saying, Jay, we're getting to see it through his eyes, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
it's not like we have somebody that knows everything that's going on. Oh, they're doing this because of this reason, they're doing that because of that reason. We're learning along as we're going through this movie. So that's what I think is one of the greatest aspects of it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I pitched Peter
Yeah.
Jackson as a director and somebody that could give this thing its
Mm-hmm.
full deserved attention, is because he's a storyteller, not just
Mhm.
a Michael Bay guy. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, you just can't do a movie like this and not give it the time it needs to flesh out a story. Like I said, it's not a hack and slash Conan movie.
No.
I think that's a perfect comparison. It's something where it needs to be a bit of a slow burn with some action in it. And that leads into one of my things I wanted to bring in, because it was some funny comparisons of some stuff I was reading. Is how would you guys classify this movie? So there's genres like horror, thriller, action, comedy, etc. How would you classify this movie? Because evidently it's debatable.
I want to go
say-
last.
I'd
Okay.
say action adventure, maybe. I mean,
Or
I mean,
fantasy, not fantasy.
Yeah.
Yeah, action adventure. Yeah, you're not really.
at least the way it's filmed. I mean, because like I said, you can tell it's missing more substance. If it had more of that substance, I really kind of feel like
Mhm.
it could teeter pretty heavily on drama. I could see that argument being made, but
I lean towards action horror because it does have that, like, once they get into the caves, it's kind of creepy in there, and like they could have
Mhm.
done more with that. And I think it leans into that. But Jay, you wanted to go last?
So I'm going to say drama that leans into the buddy cop genre. Like,
Okay.
well, no, like think about his relationship with all of the people, like as he's coming across them and meets them. Even though he doesn't get a lot of build up in relationships, there's a lot of like comedic timing with teaching a man who's never learned to read or write how to read and write. There's his relationship with Joyful, his relationship with Wef the musician, which is the Irish guy that, says sword knife and can I give that to me daughter. Like there's it's very, very drama. Like I could see this being enjoyed by people that like to watch Pride and Prejudice or the Vikings TV show, but it also very much has that buddy cop comedy feel to it a lot of time. And I think that's what gives this movie a lot of its heart back, even though it does have the setbacks of not giving you the complete story. Is I think the heart of those relationships that he develops between Olga, between Bulva, between Hergar, like I think that gives the movie the weight. You feel his relationships with these people develop.
Interesting takes, for sure.
Sci-fi. I'd like to go with
Yeah.
sci-fi.
Well,
Yeah,
actually,
he
after,
pulls out his laser
after,
blaster and
Drasten-
hops on his spaceship.
after Drasten mentioned it, it does actually have a good amount of horror-esque to it. I mean, it's even the fighting scenes and everything, they're pretty gruesome,
dark.
like you get to see some things, so.
Oh, the
Yeah.
part
They're,
where they
they're,
kill the
they're wearing
horses,
like the bear costumes and,
Yeah.
and all that
Mhm.
kind of stuff.
but the part where they kill the horses, like with the posts, like when they're like, "Oh, stand
Yeah,
on us,"
dude.
like like there's something very, very primal in that, and something that is very horrific because
I mean,
it doesn't shy
think
away.
about when they go to that what is it, that like one cabin and they find like the corpses in there. It's not like just like you just get to see some like dead people. Like those are pretty mutilated in there. Like and they're
Yeah,
hung
you're
up,
right.
and then like it's
Yeah.
pretty. Yeah, like I'm like now I'm like going back and thinking about it. I'm like, damn, dude.
Talking
Yeah,
about
that
they
was
were gnawed
pretty-
on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
good
like
call, Drasten. Like,
Yeah,
the action
yeah.
horror genre.
Yeah.
yeah.
Little
no,
I
bit of
think you hit
sci-fi.
it just like I did with the buddy cop. I think you got it.
Just a little bit of sci-fi.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
and I also found out that if there was a horse charging toward me, I just
Rom-com.
have to hold a big stick out and put my foot on it, and that's enough to stop the horse. It doesn't even
Yeah.
move me back any. Like,
I mean,
Actually, the stick will bend and fall. Yeah, and you will not have to move.
they just flip over the top of you.
like
That
the
actually,
Olympics.
though,
like a pole vault.
Yeah.
That actually though does work. It has been proven throughout history. If you have the balls to stand there at a full, at a
with
cavalry charge.
with a full
Yeah.
brunt of 20 charging horses.
But
I mean,
horses, they have
Right.
the depth perception, so it will throw them off, they say. But until they get to that point, you've probably shit your
I was
pants.
gonna say the lead up for that style sounded like
Yeah.
you were about to say like something you practice on the weekends with that or
Yeah,
something. I don't know.
Hey,
That sounded so
don't give away
serious. I'm like,
secrets, all right?
damn. All right.
No.
It's funny.
so now let me ask you a question, especially with you, Drasten, because I'm super curious on your take. So one of my biggest complaints with the guys in the movie is that everybody is wielding some variation of a sword. Like you see one guy use an axe and you see one guy use a bow. Like, what weapon do you kind of wish that they had thrown on one guy to give him a little bit more character? Like, what weapon do you like to see?
The thing is like historically, like even though a lot of the Norse conquered various cultures and things and fought, they were really, really attached to their style of weapon that they used, a very specific sword or axe. So it was kind of weird that they were using other things like that. The spears I understood, throwing the spears, bow and arrow, possibly, but not really. Yeah, so very, very minor. But like when they first threw him the sword, right? It just looked like a hunk of metal that was just like hewn out. And I'm like, their swords were actually pretty decent, elegant weapons for the time. I mean,
well, his sword did look nicer before he made the modification into the scimitar too. Like you gotta get, like he had to cut a lot of metal off that.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. Like nobody would have volunteered to do that shit. They'd be
Right.
like, "No, dude, I'll just reforge you." Like, and you, no,
yeah,
dude, literally, like the amount of grinding because they're literally grinding the metal off. They didn't cut the metal off; they grinded that metal off. The amount of grinding you'd have to do, I don't think one stone would be enough. I honestly feel like you need like.
Well, and then you look in the picture here off to the side, and like that sword that he's holding does not match the sword he had in the film, because this one looks like it's just beat to hell.
Yeah.
Like, and in the film, it was like this elegant, almost shiny, like light scimitar. So,
weapons, I don't know. It didn't really bother me that much with what they were using in the film. If we do kind of take it historically, it would be a heavy use of axes, because even swords weren't readily available for everybody. Like, if you had a sword, you were either, like was handed down to you, or you were pretty wealthy.
Or you took it off the guy.
Yeah. So, yeah, I didn't really much give it thought. It would have been nice to, I don't know, maybe see a little more shield use, but again, it's not something that, I craved for. So.
I always like flails, morning stars, things in that nature, but I don't even know if that's, I don't even know. I don't even know if that called. I don't even know if they even use them, but I just like that as a variety and things in that nature. It's the cleric
I
in
don't
me.
think it was. I don't think it was very
Yeah.
common for them
See
to
that,
use that kind of weapon.
Yeah, that came more into use when plated armor came into effect
Mhm.
because you couldn't really pierce it, so you have to bludgeon them to
Right.
death.
Horrible way to go.
Horrible way to go. Yeah, like
Mhm.
Me, it's more hand axes and more farm tools, like because like
Mhm.
there's only a couple of scenes, and it's always the villagers that are using like hand tools as weapons, and historically that was a very Viking thing to do, especially your axe, because your axe serves so many
Yeah.
purpose, and nobody uses a sax at all in the entire film.
Nope.
No, nobody's even carrying one. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And so I want to throw that out there to you guys because I that's one of the things that I got into learning about, all the different war cultures from watching movies like this that were more historical fiction. And like once you learn about it, you're like, wait a second, they aren't even using their two most popular weapons at all
Right,
in this
right.
film.
Well, it was rumored that Ahmed did have sex with that girl, but he said they don't talk about that kind of stuff.
That's right, gentlemen. Don't talk about that.
They were just cold.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
They were
And
just
I needed
cold.
more cow urine.
Right, right. Yeah, it healed me.
What did you guys in the movie? Were you able to really pick out scenes that were kind of closely related to the Beowulf story? Like, could you after watching the film, or while you were watching it, you're like, oh, that totally feels like like Beowulf right there.
Not offhand, not myself.
No, yeah,
But
I'm trying to
it's
think
also been a
too.
really long time since I've read Beowulf.
For me,
Yeah.
the opening with the ship, like how fantastical they made that dipping of the water, that like
Hmm.
took me right back into the storm in Beowulf. So
Because I love the story, of course, growing up. But there's the scene, right? Of course, the first attack, right, that we see in the movie where they're all kind of laying down, pretending to sleep. Um, that's very true of the story, because in Beowulf, the story, they have a big party, but Beowulf is the one that doesn't drink. He kind of just strips down and lays down there, ends up finding Grendel. But then there's another scene too, and again, see, this isn't necessarily said, but to me, I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh, I see a relation. Is they show somebody getting their foot cut off, right?
Mhm.
Specific in the movie. So in the book with Beowulf, Grendel gets his arm ripped off, and then another scene is they say, oh, here, one of the beast's arms, right? And they throw the club
yep,
that has the bear claw with the spikes on
yep,
it.
yep.
So that to me kind of indicates that scene where um Beowulf defeats Grendel,
Oh
he
yeah,
puts the arm up. So I guess I can see the reference
yeah,
there. Is it 100%? I'm not sure, but me looking at it, I'm like I can see that happening there.
yeah. Gotta see men a long time for that too. Like Drasten said.
That, and then when they kill the priestess or whatever, that's very reminiscent of Beowulf as well, because he goes into her lair, which is underwater, and goes and kills her. So it's basically, feels kind of the same way in the film as well. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't recall a lot of that at all. So you have a way better thought process on that. I didn't
It's
even
been
like
since school.
didn't what was wasn't there a Beowulf movie that came out in the mid 2000s? But wasn't it
yes,
like
There was.
was it
Yeah.
awful?
Oh my God, Angelina Jolie.
yeah,
Oh,
it was. So it was done in CGI, right?
That's what I thought. It was something weird like that, right? Like this weird
It
look to it.
wasn't terrible, but it also wasn't at that
Hmm.
point where you could pull a full movie. I don't know, I liked it. It wasn't a horrible movie, but again, it was like I would have really liked for a live action, either a live action or like a animated,
Right.
like an animated series.
so I've never read Beowulf. I've only ever seen that movie, that version, with the Angelina Jolie as the woman creature underwater.
Mhm.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
For me, that kind of, I was like, okay, if this is Beowulf, I don't need to, experience this again. But maybe I need to go back and find a different version of it to watch.
See, again, and this falls into a little bit of what I was saying earlier. The movie does a great job of kind of grounding the story, right? Because it shows Beowulf fall to human temptation, right? Where that's not so much a set of, that's not so much like a plot or point in the poem, basically, right? Because in the poem, you get to know about Beowulf. He goes on this quest, right? Because the king requests him to come in. He fights Grendel, kills Grendel. Grendel's mother comes in, kills his men. He swears revenge, goes kills the mother. Then he's king for God knows how long, slays a dragon, and ends up dying in the process. That's basically the poem, right? The movie, it did a good job of kind of sticking to that story, but again, it kind of made it seem like the dragon was his son, and I don't know if I'm spoiling for anyone, but
No, that's fine. No,
Well,
you're
Well, it
fine.
came
they
out in
grounded a little more.
2007, so I think you're
Yeah.
past the statute
Yeah.
of limitations.
Yeah,
there.
I'm not gonna go loud like
When the poem
something
come out,
last year.
how old's the poem?
Right.
13
the
something,
poem
maybe
is,
11 something. Yeah, it
Dumbass.
got 71% from critics, but 50% from audiences.
Interesting.
Man, that could be its own dungeon banter topic is Rotten Tomato scores.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because you can't trust them in either case.
Nope.
See, but that's the thing is I tend to agree with when an audience score is high and the critic score is low, or the audience score is low and the Rotten Tomato score is high. I tend to agree with the audience more than the critics.
I can see that.
I
I lean that way for sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes when they both agree on it, I'm like, what piece of shit did you guys watch that was different than the piece of shit I just did?
Right.
But yeah, I think you hit it on the head, Jay Hova, where you're saying even though this movie definitely has its faults and would definitely benefit from a remake of some sort, all in all, it's still an enjoyable ride to watch if you don't take it too seriously.
Mhm.
And I would definitely watch it again. Is there any other points? We're running a little long on the side, so is there anything anyone wants to bring up before we close out?
No, I think we covered a lot.
Yeah.
Or go ahead. Oh, Jay, you
No.
got something?
Just the star power that is in this movie that we don't actually recognize. The original Voldemort is one of the 13 Warriors.
Really?
The original Voldemort is one of the 13 Warriors, right? Okay. The Blackfish is one of the 13 Warriors.
Yep.
Knew that. Yeah.
Yep.
The Pred Alien is one of the 13th Warriors. And then when you get to Wef, the musician, the Irishman,
Mhm.
he has literally been in.
He's been in a lot of
Blade,
things.
He's
So
been
many
in
things.
League of Extraordinary Gentlemen,
Mhm.
and he
Underworld.
literally played Odin's father Bor in the MCU. That
That's
man
true.
has all the nerd credits in the world, and it's so funny because when you talk to people who have never seen this film, they only know Antonio Banderas, and so it really strikes me as odd because there are so many fantastic actors and actresses, and I think they gave a really good performance, especially now that I know all this backstory about the fact that they had to deal with 13 or 3 different directors, rewrites, reshoots. My hat's off to them because they truly are artists for making such good roles out of what they.
Everybody acted the shit out of it. That was definitely not the
Yeah.
problem. Yeah.
Antonio Banderas, of course, known for movies like Spy Kids and stuff. But
Mhm.
Puss in
anything?
Good movie series.
Puss in Boots.
Hey, listen, The Mask of Zorro, I think that to this
Oh.
day is one of my favorite movies, from
Criminally
sound
underrated.
to visuals to
Yeah.
fighting scenes. I think that movie is so well executed. But yeah.
Mhm.
And I think
There-
that was Banderas's little window, right, of shine. Because I think the Mask of Zorro came out 2000,
1,
maybe
2003, somewhere.
maybe 2003. Was it 2003? Okay, so
Mhm.
But
It was in
okay.
that. It's in that zone though, and yeah, like that's. I
Mask
think
of
when he was
Zorro
probably-
was 1998.
98.
No.
That's what
I
I
knew
think.
Were
it.
they
So
Yeah,
come
he was.
before this? Wow.
So
We're
yeah,
old.
Yeah,
We're old
yeah,
people.
that's true
I
too.
knew it.
That's true.
Yeah, because I was gonna say I feel like it was very close to this movie.
This film, it was right
Yep.
before this film.
Yeah,
So
yeah. That year, I think you're spot on when it comes to that. That when have you ever see Play It to the Bone? That was in that time frame too, and that's a great, very underrated Antonio Banderas film. Him and
mhm.
Woody Harrelson are great in that film. Awesome, awesome.
And that came out this same year, 1999.
There
So
it
he was
is.
very busy in the late 90s.
But
Mhm.
Tone knows I went on a quest because I'm like, I want to find my DVD. And like I literally was like diving into the garage and I was able to dig it up. So
Yeah, that you went on
I
your
thought
quest.
I owned it, but I did not find it in my bin of DVDs and Blu-rays. So
I found so many good. Like I found Krull on DVD. I have
There
that.
you go.
Yes, I do have that.
God, we really have to do a
Samurai
crawl.
Jack season 1.
Yeah.
What else?
Krull, Ice Pirates, these classics.
Dude.
See? Tone refuses to watch Ice Pirates.
I've never seen it.
He refuses to watch it. I told him how he could
I
watch
didn't
it.
refuse. I didn't refuse to watch it. I just haven't seen it.
Do you?
We're gonna have to do it as one of these just so he has to.
What
Oh,
about
yeah, absolutely.
we talked about Jurassic Park. This is a little bit based on that, but has anybody seen Star Kid?
Yes.
No.
Okay,
Yes.
dude, it's not by any means like anything fantastic, right? But it's with the kid from the Jurassic Park movie, the first Jurassic Park movie, that little boy.
Oh, he
It's the
did more
only other
acting.
movie that I know that he's in,
Oh,
right? So it has to do with, like, it's this like space suit, like space alien suit that has like intelligence, right? It's I forgot. Like, yeah, it's like a battle armor that these little aliens create to fight this other alien that's a dominating species, right? So they shoot it off to Earth, and this kid finds it and wears it, and it's just such a
Guyver
funny
for
movie.
little kids. That's all it is the Guyver for little kids.
Yeah, dude, Jay, that's such a good way of putting it. It's 100% the Guyver for little kids.
that's
Holy
funny.
crap, it got horrible scores.
Oh, it's so bad, dude. The one scene, there's this one scene where the kid is like hungry, right? So he goes to this fast food place and he gets a burger. So the robot like eats this burger and then regurgitates this like ball, right? So it like brings this ball up. He's like, all the processed stuff has been taken out, so it's pure protein. And it looks so fucking gnarly. And this machine like basically pushes it into his mouth. It's like the best scene in the whole movie.
What the fuck? That's
This
great.
looks terrible. Yeah,
Dude.
43% critics, 36% from
I
audience
honestly
score.
feel that was straight to TV. That didn't even hit the theaters. Nothing. Like,
That was the end of his career.
yep, exactly.
Do you think he saw us?
Yep.
Sorry.
Hate you.
Did you think he saw
You're
his
welcome.
Rex?
Yeah.
Mhm.
You're welcome.
All right. Any more on this one?
No, I think
Dad.
we covered it all.
Yeah,
I
Dad.
think we did. Yeah.
We're
I think we
dead.
gave more screen time to some of the characters than the movie did.
I think that's
Hey, we're almost at the runtime of the fucking movie,
Yeah,
dude.
right, dude. It's true. Holy shit.
Right? Fucking right. We had more character development sitting here
Yeah.
talking. That's awesome.
all right. Well, let's wrap up. Stell,
Yeah.
where can people find you or your stuff?
So you can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram, GRK Stelioso on Instagram. I basically just have that to showcase some photography of action figures. So definitely go check that out if you're interested in that kind of stuff. We also have the Savage Crucible YouTube channel. So if you're into the figures that we create, definitely follow us on Savage Crucible YouTube channel. We do updates, reveals, all that fun stuff there. So, and plus we just have a good old time with Jay and Tone in the comments. Always, keeping me on my toes. So,
clowning with Frankie.
yeah.
Yeah,
Not
that's
hard
great.
to do.
And
Nope.
hey, make sure to check out the Harbinger Studios website. Go to that
Yes.
Savage Crucible
Yes.
website and check it out.
Check it out. We got
Order
Wave 4
some
up for
figures.
pre-order right now. We got some in-stock stuff. So if you want some lizards, we got some lizards in there. We got graphic novels. So you can catch up with the story.
Absolutely.
And Ren has done an amazing job of showcasing everything. So Actually,
Sure
it's
has.
funny you point that out. Something that I did the other day.
Jay Hova's proud of me because this is his Savage Crucible Red.
Oh, that's awesome, dude.
So this is from the
Nice.
Varnox from the back. So I just took it out and just trace cut it
Oh
and was able
shit,
to
that's a
frame
good
it.
idea.
So
That's a great idea. I got my boxes coming soon. I'll do that too.
yeah.
2
You know
weeks,
what's
bro.
awesome too?
2 weeks.
And I had to give them props on this. They put like, I don't know if it shows really well, but if you notice the map, they've like put creases. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
so it actually looks like it was folded.
Holy shit!
Like
I'll be
it doesn't
damned,
really.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm not doing it justice showing it on the screen.
If
but
you drop that, you might find One Eye Willie's gold.
yeah,
That's true.
that's what I said. I sent it to
I'll
the
show
guys.
you
I'm
my
like,
one-eyed
"Please,
Willie's
guys."
gold.
All right. And Fanboytone, where can we find you?
You can find me over at the Banter and Babble YouTube channel right here on the old YouTubes. This week, this Saturday, midday noon, Stell's going to be back for the week of Stell is what we're calling it. He's going to be
The
on
week
Let's
of
Set the
Stell.
Tone, the week of Stell. And he's going to be on Let's Set the Tone. He's going to run through the gauntlet of questions for LSTT. So we're going to learn and find out a little bit more about Little Stell as well, too. And not what's in his pants, literally like young Stell. So, but.
Oh my god.
And Jay Hova, where can people find us?
Yeah, so
Okay.
absolutely. Episode 5 of Dungeon Banner will be sometime in December. We still haven't worked out a date yet for it, but we will be talking our childhood favorite Christmas gifts.
Yo,
Will be
yes.
myself, Fanboytone, DM Drasten, and our own Pork Chop Express from 7D will be joining us for that episode where we talk about our favorite childhood Christmas gifts. You can catch me on Facebook at Jay Hova. I'm on YouTube, Jay Hova Witness, Discord, and you can also catch me every Monday nights with the guy right above me.
Yep. Right where you're at right now at 7 Dungeons on YouTube or Twitch. So again, I want to thank Stell for coming out with us tonight and hanging out with
Thank you guys.
we love having you here. Always have some great conversation.
Mm-hmm. Door is always open to you, for sure.
My pants aren't
Yep.
though, so sorry, Tom.
Whoa.
I had to throw right back.
No, you've got your own tone well enough. Just wind up in my position.
And on that note,
And on
God damn it.
No, we will chat with you later. Take care, everybody.
Good night, everybody.